Hey there, today we are going to walk you through a hands-on project on developing an AI-powered ATS applicant tracking system resume scoring agent using Azure. We'll cover everything from setting up an Azure Function App and selecting the right plan to configuring Azure OpenAI for scoring resumes. You'll learn how to extract data from resumes and job descriptions, analyze them with GPT-4 to generate an ATS score, and store the results in Azure Blob Storage. So whether you're aiming for roles like an AI engineer, solutions architect, or AI architect, knowing how to build and deploy this kind of solutions is a must. This hands-on experience will really help you stand out in the job market. And to make it even easier for you, we have attached a full downloadable guide for this project in the description and pinned comments. It's completely free, so feel free to grab the guide and follow along as we build this AI-powered ATS resume scoring agent.
All right. So for now, like we have this session is dedicated for this intelligence resume screening with Azure AI. Basically, this is one project for which we need to discuss these things today. Like we will talk about how exactly you can start developing these kind of a project. So we will we will learn how really companies screen resumes using AI, not theory, not slides only, but actual working system we are going to discuss today, right? So why we have taken this one? Because every day companies are receiving, hundred of thousands of resumes for a single job, and human can't read all of the, resumes or PDF or document they used to get. But as a HR perspective, we can understand they have thousands of resume for a particular job. Like for example, if I need to search any person related to Azure AI, so I may receive, hundred of resumes for the same profile, but finding out the best one, like who can have the best skill matching with the job description, this can be, little hard for any human, just like HR or the related persons. So human can't read all of them altogether, right? So they need something like we know about ATS score they used to follow, that is application tracking system, to automatically filter resume before any human ever see the any of the resume, right? So that is important. So our goal is to like how such intelligence ATS is building using the Python and Azure AI. In this one, we are going to use Azure AI for the basic resources, basic skills, inbuilt models we have, and we will implement this with the help of Azure OpenAI. And with that, we will talk more about Azure Function, or will also include storage account, and we'll use some portion of HTML, which was just added. So I have not implemented HTML part to make the front end where any human can interact, but I will show you how you will do that, right? So we'll show you the complete curriculum, like what exactly we are going to do. And before proceeding ahead, I can discuss, just a minute, I need to reshare my screen to show you what is going to happen there, right? And then after, we will proceed and we'll start discussing about this whole project. Here you can find like this is a small HTML page. I repeat, I just need to upload the resume and need to provide the description, what you're looking for. Just assume like you can just assume you are HR and you need to find out a perfect resume, a perfect person for any particular role. Just like you are applying, and HR will want to find out the best relevant skill or any person like who can just fulfill a requirement and more suitable for that particular job. So in that case, I can just upload my resume, I can provide the job description, and on clicking, I want to find out ATS score. I want to find out like how many skills are resembling and what are the name of those skills. So these all things we are going to do in this. So how to do that? So in this case, like we will talk multiple things. Like here, I will have this kind of a basic code. What is that? I will explain. I just want to pass this input. Either you want to pass those things in the front end, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just pass your resume's location. Like my resume location is saurabh.aitrainer.pdf. This is my resume. And I also want to provide a job description that we are looking for Azure Cloud Engineer role, requiring Terraform, Azure Functions, Kubernetes experience, these all three skills we have mentioned here, right? So this is something like we are looking here in the job description. As I execute, it will execute my code that is in Azure Function. I will discuss about each and every tool that was not discussed earlier, and now you can find that. So we got 85, breakdown Terraform 15, Azure Function, giving some values here, and about the certifications as well, like how many certifications I have, 15 plus. And semantic similarity is 7.6. Its value is from 0 to 10. The bigger value means more suitable person, right? And what are the skills which are matching? Function, cloud, certification, Microsoft, AI engineer, developer associate, data scientist, AI fundamental. These were the related terms related to the job description, and we found it more, right? So this kind of a result we want to expect here. In this case, how we can you start using? Maybe most of you will be new to this Azure function, no problem. We'll discuss about it. So you are aware about storage account. If no much information about that, we will discuss once again. This is basic, like we will talk about storage account. With that, Azure OpenAI, right? We have done basic coding here related to it, but how we can do, we will discuss once again. And finally, the job description, document intelligence. I hope we all are aware about the doc intelligence. That is to do some kind of a OCR thing, right? So we are going to talk each and everything once again. And now we are going to talk about this project. Let's talk about very first problem statement. And when I talk about problem statement means we are going to talk like what are the different challenges, why we are talking about this all stuff here. So this is something like where we need to talk about some recruiters, some HRs who really want to hire any person, which need to find out a person related to any particular role like they are looking for, and they want to hire the person just by watching this AI solution, in which they have thousands of or hundreds of resumes per particular job, and we want to make it much easier by using this solution. So what is this? Recruitment receives 100 of resumes per job, and manual screening is slow, inconsistent, and biased. So we understand that thing in the real companies when the job is posted and recruiters don't get only 5 or 10 resumes. They used to get 100 of different resumes for a single role. Sometime if a big organization, they used to get thousands of resumes for the same post. Yes, we have coding as well. Don't worry, in that particular document, right now you will be watching the theory, but it will be uploaded automatically. I will explain all this stuff. But first of all, I will move step by step. We'll discuss each and every small topic first. We'll talk about all the services that we're going to use. And that will be a recap, like how you can deal with Azure OpenAI, document intelligence, or Azure function. Then I will slowly merge all of those things in this project. And you will understand all the things very easily. And it will be helping you for your interview as well, where the interviewer may ask you the various questions related to your project, right? So please bear with me and try to understand. So we understand like here, this is slow, inconsistent, and biased. Slow, that means like it may take days or a week. I hope you heard about that, like especially in Germany, Australia. They used to take, 2 to 3 months minimum. Minimum 3 months is there for hiring any particular person. So there are a lot of steps are there. So sometimes it is inconsistent because different recruitment judge differently. They can have when you see the resume, sometimes biasness is there. And we also know like what kind of sometimes some scams are there in this, and HR and the recruiters want to be very very perfect for before hiring any person. And what is our goal? Like automate resumes screening using the AI. We just don't only want to replace recruiter, but we just want to assist them by making this solution, right? So we will talk about each and everything. In this problem statement, we can understand in recruitment scenario, like whenever a job is posted, again, that recruiter team receive 100 of resumes again, but manually, as we discussed, it's time consuming, inconsistent, and prone to human bias. Again, the same step that we discussed in the previous one. But what is the objective? So objective is to build an AI powered ATS system, right? We just want to develop this ATS system, and the system should automatically read the resume, right? We want it should read the resume, should do comparison between them with a job description. So we want like whether they want to compare with the job description, is it relevant to the job description or not, right? And return an ATS score with the explanation. As we discussed, it was showing the result, the output was 85%, right? We got that output here. So what kind of output we are expecting? So there we have. We just want to get the ATS score. Then we want to get the match keywords. What are the keywords which are matching Azure Terraform? Which is missing in my resume, Kubernetes was not discussed. That's why it is just saying Kubernetes is not, and semantic similarity is high, right? That means it is also hinting us, yes, this is the perfect one or not. Later on, you want to make it more complex by, getting a lot of information about resumes, and then after you also want to compare. For example, I got 100 resumes, and out of 100, we have found we are finding approximately 10 best resumes, and then you want to do further comparison. Like out of 10, I want to hire a single person. How can I make this? Once you will understand all these things, you can make it more complex as well as per the requirements. But right now, this is something that we want to get as an output from this solution. Okay. So let's proceed. This is my problem. That was problem statement. And now how exactly we can develop these things. And now this is important, guys. For developing this solution, for developing this project, we have to go with few things. Very first thing, like we want to build the serverless ATS system that extract the resume text. So could you please help me with this point? Please try to help me. Like I'm saying, like I have some resume and I want to find out ATS score for this particular resume, right? And the first step that we are discussing, like we need to extract resume. There are the two steps. One is extraction, and then after getting the text. Could you please help me how you can do that? Like you are saying, like my data, my resumes are in any particular source location, data source location. And in this case, you can take anyone. You can assume this is in maybe like in your own server, or it is on cloud, it is in AWS, on any other cloud, that doesn't matter. But to extracting that particular resume and getting the text, what should I do? Yes, storage, as we discussed in the beginning, we are going to use storage account, which is more preferable in Azure side. But in the real time, you can have different data sources. It can be coming from any other platform in your own servers. It may be in maybe like in other cloud, right? So you just want to extract it. That is not a big deal. But in this particular project, we will use, which is the preferable, which is the more best suitable, that is storage account. In the storage account, we will bring the data, and then after extracting, we will convert into the text form. And now we understand like we can do this task with the help of doc intelligence, right? So we will do the same thing here. We'll try to figure out and we'll get that thing. Okay. After that, match it with a job description. How can I do that? I just want to do this matching with the job description. For example, once again, I have that job description with me that we received from the HR. Now, here we will do that. Yes, we want to do the semantic similarity, right? So I have two documents right now with me, right? One is the actual text that is basically extracted from my PDF, and we have converted into text form by using doc intelligence OCR capability. OCR refers to optical character recognition, right? By using this one, we have just converted in the text form. Now, this is the input, that is JD, that we received from the HR, right? This is my JD. And now point is, I just want to compare these two things. I just want to do a matching between this, whether these and these are matching or not. So we want to do the semantic similarity, right? And after that, we want to generate ATS score. Now for that, what should I do? Can I use Azure OpenAI? Can I use any LLM for doing this? Right? Either you use directly your Foundry or you use Azure OpenAI, both are okay. No problem in that. You can use any one of the way, right? So we want to use LLM here. We will give, again, what we do, we give the system message. We used to give description, like in that system message what you want to do, and in the input you will pass the JD, you will pass the your model name, and you will hit, and it will help you to calculate the ATS score based on this information. What I have JD, I have my text data will pass into this Azure OpenAI, and my LLM will help us to find out that ATS score, right? And it will also extract the matching and the missing skills. So this all will be happening with the help of LLM at the back. Now, how to proceed? And in this case, ATS score will be lying between 0 to 100. Basically, it will be between 0 to 10, and we will multiply with 10, right? To just make it more attractive to show you, like whether it is how much score is that. Based on it, we will do. So this is very important, and the system doesn't give a number. It will also tell you which skills are already present in the resume, which important skills are missing. So this all things will happen as I showed you in the sample output. Now, to understand this whole solution, you can understand with this. A small flow, end-to-end flow, which is indicating like we have resume PDF, right? We will ingest this PDF into the blob storage, which is the part of storage account. And then after you will, it will be triggering with based on the Azure function. So Azure function will trigger on HTTP trigger, basically, like whenever something is happen, as we will perform some task, it will be triggering. So this is a serverless function. And after that, it will be start calling this doc intelligence. Your doc will come in the doc intelligence and will help us to provide the text data to the Azure OpenAI. And then after, it will be Azure OpenAI will help us to generate the ATS score. So what I said, I'm just talking about resume PDF. So in this case, we have taken the two format, PDF or doc. So everything starts with your input, and input is my resume that is in PDF format, right? It can be in Word or any other doc format can be there, right? So right now we have the blob storage, so which is a part of storage account as I discussed. So it will be uploaded here in blob storage account. And this is just like a cloud folder only, like in which for in that folder you are saving your data, your files only, right? And why we use this storage account? Because it is more secure, it is scalable, and the best IO operation you can get it with the help of Azure service. So Microsoft also recommend to use storage account. So otherwise you can use other services as I discussed, like where you have your own resumes are lying. Then after, as we discussed, Azure Function. So this is a very, very important service which is being used in almost any project. It's very popular. And as I discussed, it is serverless. And when it triggers, whenever you perform some task. So this is a small piece of code that will run only when needed. It means, like, for example, like if I'm going to trigger it for 5 seconds, you need to pay for only 5 second amount, right? So that is why this is very, very popular also, because it is not consuming extra charges. Like it is not like that if I am going to use only for 1 hour in a whole day, I need to pay for whole day. Not like that. You will be paying only for 1 hour, that for the time you are using it. So this is just like acting a brain of our system. So this is something like orchestration is happening on this place. So as the triggering is happening, as you got some blob storage area, some information here, immediately it will trigger and will start calling this particular data to the doc intelligence. So doc intelligence, we understand, a service that will help you to read the PDF, will extract the text data by using its OCR capability, and will try to understand the layout. So what we have done, we have my resume that we are going to pass to Doc Intelligence. Yes, right, Pigma, the same thing I mentioned. Yes. So once my Doc Intelligence is getting the text data, that text data will become input, and that we will pass to the Azure OpenAI. And this is the place like where we will send this text data to OpenAI for extracting the meaningful information from that. If this is something like where we will give the job description and my OCR, my text data. So one side, I am going to get this text data from it, right? And we will also provide the JD, right? This text data is basically indicating to my resume. And I also need to provide the JD also, that is job description. These two things will go here. And my Azure OpenAI model, my LLM will try to understand the meaning of it. We'll try to find out the identifying the skills, and will calculate the ATS score that you are going to get. So main thing, this is not a big deal. We are just talking a very simple project in which we will be performing these tasks by using the LLM only, in which we want to extract the data, that is my PDF resume. And first target is to extract that or text data out of it. I have already my JD with it. Both the things will be passed into this OpenAI, and that LLM will help us to calculate the ATS score for us. Now, the point is, yes, don't worry, Joshua. I will discuss about each and every service. Right now, we are just talking about the fundamental. I'm just making the fruit of this project, like what is going to happen here, right? And after that, I will discuss about all 4 important services that we are using here. So we are using here Function App. Then after, I'm going to talk about the storage account. Then after, we have this Doc Intelligence, and one more, what is missing? Azure Function. Azure Function is done, I think. Azure Function, storage, we have document intelligence, OpenAI, right? All 4 things I'm going to discuss. So this will behave just like an agent only. I will talk about that photo. So why we are talking about this project here? Because in this one, we are trying to understand how the system works. So this is the approach that is very powerful. As we discussed, this is automation is one thing. So biggest benefit is automating. Like once the resume is uploading, no manual reading, no manual filtering, only any HR can upload the document, and immediately it can get the ATS score, whether these resumes are relevant. If any one is there, it will show us the top ATS score resume, which is more preferable, right? Consistency means like here we are talking about biasness, or we are talking about tiredness by any human. Means like human can be tired, or can show some biasness in some resume. He may be, never be all the time consistent. So we want every resume is evaluated based on some specific rules, or we must have some logic behind it, right? This will be there. Explainability is always an important feature, because it is not like that, like your system doesn't behave like a black box. It doesn't just say score is equals to 65. While it will explain like why they have chosen this particular resume, because of skill match, because of some skills are not matching. So there will be a explanation will be here behind every result. So we can get that information by using this project. Scalability is also one of the important things. Like today you can have 10 resumes, tomorrow you can have 10,000. Because of this is serverless, like the system scales automatically. There is no infrastructure charge at the back by using AI, Azure Function, not AI, Azure Function only. That means like whenever one resume or 1 lakh resumes will be there, your system can handle it. And you don't need to pay extra amount. You don't need to pay for infrastructure cost, because your Azure Function, not AI, sorry, I'm just repeating AI. Azure Function will not charge extra. It will only be charging for that time it is going to be triggered. So you triggered one resume, when you uploaded one resume, it is going to charge for that. You are going to trigger for 10 resume, maybe like this time it need to activate it for 10 seconds, it will charge only for that time. Rest of time, it will not charge. So this is the better one. The faster hiring decision, because we are talking about automated and instant solution. So recruiters may get results in second. They can shortlist the person or the the person for which they are looking for. They can just shortlist that person very quicker, very faster, and their decision will be much improved. Yes, then actually it is just going to help both of them. Yes, yes. So some real world use cases, like we understand, like where recruiter platforms, like where you have a large recruiter platforms are there receiving thousands of resumes every day, right? That can be helpful for them for automatically screening the resume or shortlisting the candidates. For HR automation as well, like that can be for internal portal, right? They can just make their workflow for their hiring the new employees very quicker. For resume ranking engine also, like instead of just pass or fail, companies want to give the ranking as well, and they can find out the top 10 resumes or top 20 resumes out of that. And talent screening pipeline as well. So this is something like the system can work as the first filtering. They will screen the resume, then after maybe like finding the or removing the or whatever the person not matching or the weak resumes are there, and send only the top 5 top 10 strong candidates to the next stage. So you can make a kind of a pipeline, right? In the first way, like you are just defining some of the rules where you just want to pass that one to the next level, and it is going to select only top 10 resumes based on the ATS score. So that kind of things we can do. No, we are not doing the comparing the multiple resumes. But first of all, our purpose is only to find out the ATS. Based on ATS, based on the skills, you can find the top 5 or top 10 resumes. And later on, out of that top 10 resumes, if you want to enhance that project later on, you can do that. You can add one more step here. Like once you will understand that, after that developing, adding that particular part to do the comparison between the top 5 resume, top 10 resumes, it will become easier for you. We'll talk about it. Right, Vicky? So right now we can see, like right now we have just discussed about the basic understanding about the problem statement, like what we are doing, why we are doing, and that after that we discussed about solution, how we can achieve this goal for developing this automated ATS solution that will be helping HR recruiters and to develop your ranking based system. And now how we will do this is the solution, but to understand that one on the high level architecture, we can understand like how we have done this all. So we just discussed about this particular project. So in this project, we are talking about resume, which is the initial point, right? On this side, like we can find like we have any resume that will be the initial starting point. And we want to store this PDF in my blob storage, right? So blob storage, where you will create your container. Container is nothing. It is just like a folder. And in that folder, you want to save this resume, right? As you will upload here, it will trigger the function, right? So this will be something like where you have the storage account. And as you will be uploading, the Azure function will be triggered. And Azure function is nothing like it is, it will start executing your piece of code that will receive the resume's file location, like where is my PDF file, where is my resume, it will start getting, and will also receive the JD, right? So these things will be there, and this will be orchestrating, or it will control when to read the resume, when to call the AI services, just like for doing OCR at the back, it will be triggering this thing. And will once it will get the text data, this text data and this JD that we have already there, these things will be passed to the OpenAI. So what is happening? So this is going to be triggered, like your storage account is here. Basically, this function will be triggering it here in this way, like not that way. Basically, as it will trigger, it will be start calling the first OCR. Once it will provide the kind of text data out of it, then after it will start calling Azure OpenAI, and Azure OpenAI will give us the ATS score. And once again, it will come back to the function, and function will generate the report for you, where it will start adding your score. It will start adding, the rest of information. What are the skills which are matching, which are not matching, or other information. It will just generate a report for you, and you will save that one once again in storage account, right? So this is just like on the very high level view. Here we have discussed about 2-3 main services. One is storage account. One we are discussing about doc intelligence. One is Azure OpenAI, and finally we have Azure Function. So 4 important things are there that we will discuss after this. But I hope till here you're getting the basic understanding, like what is happening here. Okay, store in some storage and use doc intelligence to extract. Yes, storage. Okay, I think I missed the basic thing. Yes, it will work for both. Yes. Yep. All right. To understand that one once again, what I have discussed earlier, like we have resume. I just want everyone should be on the same level. We have PDF. We are going to ingest that one in storage account. And as you will upload that one, it will automatically trigger this Azure function. And as Azure function will trigger, it will call the AI service, that is doc intelligence, for extracting the text data. Will extract the text, and this text will go to the OpenAI, and OpenAI will help us to generate the ATS score for it. Once this will done, again your function will trigger and will generate the response plus report, and this will be saved. This will be saved in the storage account once again. Yeah, it's like I just generated that picture from the AI only. So it just showed me like that. And immediately I just added just before the session. But the point is this graph is indicating, and you will understand once again with the code. But just it was just to understand like how it is happening at the back. But everything is triggering by that Azure function. And in the Azure function, we have mentioned each and everything all together. So you can understand like right now we have my input data, right? So this is my storage account, right? You can just think about it right now. Like this is a storage account where we are uploading my PDF in this storage account. As you will do this, that means something is being triggered. Some action is going to be happen, and your Azure function will trigger it, right? Will trigger it. So this is something triggering, right? What happened? You have uploaded the resume in the storage account, and it will trigger. And Azure function property is that whenever it trigger, it start acting. That means it have some code that will be executed automatically. I hope you all are with me and you are understanding. Like that means like when you have done something, HTTP trigger will be done, and it will be triggering this doc intelligence. What is my doc intelligence? For performing the OCR feature. That means my PDF will be extracted, and that will be passed to this doc intelligence, and it will convert this doc in a simple raw text data. Is that okay? One by one. Hold on. First, you understand, please. So as you will get the text data, after that, you will pass this text to the next step can be there. You want to make it above one step or 2 steps, you can understand. So right now, we can understand this is the first block. Second block was to get my text data. Third block is to get your LLM and want to get ATS score, right? Once again, you will start writing your system message. You will write some description, and then after you will hit it. That means your text data is here that you want to pass to your LLM, and this will be generating an ATS score for us. And final step can be to generate the response for you, right? Right now, I am not discussing code. I'm just trying to explain you how and how you will execute this complete solution, right? We understood that thing in more appropriate form. You can understand what we have discussed. Like my resume is in there, and we need to create the 2 containers. One is with the name resume row, and one is with the name reports, right? So first of all, we are talking about my storage area, that is my Azure Blob Storage, and there we will have our resume, and as it will be retrieving, it will pass to the doc intelligence. And doc intelligence is something where we have the pre-built model is here. What is the pre-built model? OCR pre-built model, which will convert this all PDF data into the extract text. That means in the raw text, it will convert. And once my data is there, my raw data is here, it will be passed to Azure OpenAI, in which we are going to use the GPT-4o, my model. And once we will start using it, we will generate this response. It will be there. It will show us the ATS score between 0 to 100. It will also add the matching or mismatching or the keyword which are matching in the resume. It will give us all the things, right? So there you can upload the PDF. It will be uploaded here in storage account. And as we discussed after that, you will have doc intelligence. Doc intelligence will extract the raw text. Raw text will go to OpenAI, and then after you will get the response, right? So internally, this all also using the text embedding adder to extract the keyword extraction. Like how it is going to get the extracted data. Internally, you need to convert your JD and your resume in the embedded form. What was embedding? Okay, yes, we want to convert my whole data into the vector form, right? Numerical representation, so that comparing the matching can be done in much better way. So we will convert my whole, text data that we have, and we have JD. Both the things will be converted into the embedding form, and we will get the missing and the, the matching keywords. So we will talk about it. So this picture is important, and you can see the same picture on the beginning of this document, right? You please check this document. I hope this is with all of you. So please bear with me, and in case you want to see this picture once again, and we will keep on comparing in between. So we'll keep on talking about this again and again. So I hope you all have this document, and in this document, you can find this picture. I just copied from this place. All right. So I just want, like, you all should be on the same level, and this picture should be in mind, right? So please keep on referring this particular image again and again. Now, before proceeding into the main code, I still want to discuss about the different services. In this picture note, this is a place where you need to add the JD in this area, right? When you will implement this complete project, you will find this kind of a front end. And in this front end, you need to upload the resume and need to add your JD in this place. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So right now, we are going to talk about further thing here, and we are going to talk about all 4 important services we discussed, which are being used in this project. I'm going to talk about my blob storage, right? Once again, we will talk about doc intelligence. We will talk about Azure OpenAI and this important Azure function, which is at the center point, which is holding orchestration, like means doing all the orchestration work. Right? We are going to talk about all 4 important services in this project. So in this concept, we have added this doc intelligence, right? And this doc intelligence, this is something like where we are already aware about it, like AI document intelligence pre-built read, that is indicating to your OCR service, that is optical character recognition. Just to show you this all once again, where is that? Just a minute. Okay. So there we have, if you remember that thing, we discussed something about document intelligence, right? Its former name was form recognizer, right? And we discussed about 3 important type of services. One is the doc analysis. So right now, okay. So we discussed 3 type of services there, 3 type of different models. One is the document analysis type. One was pre-built models, and one is custom model. So we don't need to go with custom model because we only want to get the OCR. We want to get the raw data from my given resume. So we are going to use this service, this particular model, OCR read, right? If you remember, we did the same kind of work here. I need to upload. Okay, I need to just give that references. And after that, we can upload any document, and this model will help us to provide raw data from my given text data. That is my PDF, right? So we'll take a little time to open, but that was something we have already discussed earlier. So right now, I also want to extract the text from the given PDF document. And we want to convert these unstructured files into the clean text data, and it will enable downstream AI analysis as well. So we can quickly see, okay, I need to create my resource once again for using this service, but no worries. I hope you remember like what we have discussed about this doc intelligence. I'm not going to talk about in more detail about it. It will be just a quick intro, like what we have covered in doc intelligence. If you want to check that thing, you can see the recording in which we have discussed these things in more detail. Even right now, what we have covered in this way, like we discussed all these three types: pre-built models, doc analysis model, and the custom model. Just now, I showed you all three types. In this, right now, we are talking about this read, or you can say OCR model. But apart from that, we have layout or general document. These are pre-trained models are there. Apart from that, pre-built models in which we have receipts, we have invoice, identity card, business card, contract, forms, a lot of different kind of document text forms are there, 100 type of different text forms are there. So for each and everything, we have detailed pre-trained models are there. But we are interested right now to ingest my PDF in this, which will extract the raw text data for my given resume, right? Then after, how we can do that? Anytime if you want to use this doc intelligence, you can use by the different ways. One way is same, you can go into the portal like this way, you can click on it, or otherwise you can go directly in Foundry. There also you will find the same same model, where you can upload this document directly by clicking on this service, and you can upload the doc and you can start getting the OCR. This is the one way. Could you please help me with two more ways how we can start using the doc intelligence in case if I want to use it? Like we can use the Python SDK. We are using the REST API. Right now, this is the API also. Like we are just going to send the request by using the request.post. I need to tell about my address. So you will create your resource and you will give your endpoint and will make your URL here, right? So what is my complete URL? That will be endpoint/doc intelligence /doc model. Which model I'm going to use right now? I'm going to use pre-built read, right? So you will use till here. You can just do the small changes here if you want to make any of different API related to different pre-built models. So this will be, everything will be common. Only you need to change this place, read, or you want to go for receipt or invoice, you can just do the small change here. But by making this all, you can make your complete URL. That means in layman language, this is the address where I want to hit my PDF, right? And where is my PDF? Where is my PDF? PDF is here. We need to pass this PDF. And how we got that PDF? By opening this file in the byte form. And now this code is helping us to explain how you can start using doc intelligence. So we totally understand this RP. RP refers to read binary, right? Yes, we are reading the file byte. Very good. Mohammed, Sharad, Kasif, Jaswinder. Okay, Chakir. Good. Yes, we are talking about RP refers to read binary. That means your file, PDF file will be here. You will be opening this file in the binary form, and we have Python open function, right? And when you will open this file, this will be providing you an object as F. And you can read this all f.read and will add all of the information in this resume byte. This time, your PDF is in binary form and in a single object. Object name is resume byte, right? So right now, I want to hit this resume byte, resume_byte, which is an object which is holding my PDF. Second thing, I have address. Address means in layman language, I'm saying this is inside my Azure cloud. So Azure cloud have this model whose address is this. So I want to go to my friend's house. What is the address in US? So that is in this particular address. The complete address is here. And I'm just mentioning here, this is my input data. This is my URL and header, one more object. What is a header? Header normally talk about authorization, talking about the keys, talking about what type of content I'm going to get. It will be good, like if you will want to specify whether it is from the browser or it is from the REST API, so that time it matters. But right now, I'm talking about three important things. One is my input data, right? My PDF, that is here on this place. Second thing, I'm talking about URL, that is talking about the address, the location, right? We have this one here. And the third thing, here we are talking about header. Header, a authorization, right? So I'm going to talk about this part as well. Three things are there, right? We need to hit it, request.post. This is a way of implementation. Like how we can just convert any document that is my PDF in my binary form. We are going to hit on this area in this particular address that is talking about a pre-built model from Microsoft. That is for getting raw data. So data, my PDF will hit on this address. I have authorization key as well. No one is going to stop me. Yes, I'm the authorized person to access this service. And as a response, it will give me the raw text data, right? So I hope you all are with me. We can understand what is the role of doc intelligence, what it can do. It can do OCR for me, right? Next part, storage account. What is storage account? I hope you all have done this way, this particular thing somewhere in any of small project, in any of small lab. If not, no worries. So storage account is secure cloud container provided by Microsoft Azure that let you store and access data from anywhere over the internet. So we totally understand this is secure cloud service provided by the Microsoft Azure, and it allows you to store and access the data from anywhere. All files or your data can be kept inside storage account, and you can think of this Azure storage account as a big online hard drive. Now you have any resumes out there, or you have some text data, or any reports out there, you can save here. So you have the five different ways of different data storage areas are there where you can save the different kind of data in different place to which we are calling storage area. So this is one is blob storage. So where you want to save your files and unstructured data. You can just remember this point, unstructured data. For this, we use the blob storage. If you have the file, shared file systems are there, just like network file shares are there, right? You can use the file storage. For queue, we have messages. It is mainly used for very small messages, log information used to come here. So we use the storage queue storage where you have a lot of inputs are there continuously, and you want to handle this kind of area, like where all the queues will be in the queue, like all the requests will be in the queue. That time you can go with queue storage, where you can have the task queues are the one examples. While we have one more table storage, like NoSQL data. Like again, info log informations are there. You can go with table storage, and for this storage, VM disk, like OS and the data disk. Maybe the rest of others are not important, but I added this all just to know the basic understanding of your storage account. So probably like we will not be using this thing directly here in any of a recent project, but in future, if you have to handle different kind of data, so storage account is one of the place where you can store unlimited data without worrying about infra and other things, but definitely need to pay extra if you will start using the bigger service. So that time you can go with the storage account. So this storage account is something like here we are going to use store raw resume, or we will also store the ATS report. Means we are going to use this blob storage in this project, and we are going to create the two containers, the one with the name raw-resumes and one with the name of reports, right? And this will act just like a document source only, nothing else. What I mean, I'm just first coming here. just to show you how the things are happening. So right now, guys, we are already aware about this storage account, right? On this page, you can find on the overview page, as you will create, you will find again the basic information about it. Like here, we have created this particular project with the name strg AC storage account 26. I gave this name. And on the plate, you can find this is written storage account, right? And with that, you can see like here we have created under this resource group, subscription ID, and other things are there. Also telling me this I used LCR, that is LRS, that is local resident storage, right? It is again, some replications are there. Whether you want to save all the information only in Sweden Center, or if your data is very crucial, you want to make it multiple replica, so you can go with the different ways as well. So during the creation of it, you can have the different replications ways are there. You can choose. For me, this data was not important, so that's why we have choose LRS. Otherwise, we have 4-5. I'm forgetting the other names, but locally, or you want to write that one globally. In the globally also, you want to make it multiple copies of it. So that kind of a different ways are there that we can go with, right? So with that, that is the basic information. I just created this one at 1 o'clock today afternoon only, and we have this basic information. So with that, you can find some properties, blob, security, networking, these all things we can find. That's okay. But to check it out, like where is my data storage area, you can find in this way. Like here we have their data storage is here. And I just now discussed about this container, file share, queue, and table, right? I discussed few information related to this way. Like instead of blob, that will be used for unstructured data mainly. I just discussed about PDF, resumes, images, videos. I can save all this stuff in the storage, blob storage. But what is my blob storage here? So it is indicating to container only. So to this container, you can say blob. Blob basically means files, right? I need to create a container first, right? By clicking on this add container, and I can just upload any blob inside this. Means I can upload any file inside this. So this is one way. Instead of that, we have some others that I just discussed about it, like file storage is for shared file system, sometimes networking file. We talk about queue, again, messages, like very small queues are there. A lot of requests are coming here. Maybe like for IoT applications, there you use a lot. For tables, for NoSQL data, for disk storage, VM disk. Just put this all information in mind only, but right now we are gonna use blob storage mainly. How can I create a blob storage? How can I create a container? And how can I upload the file? I'm going to show about this one once again. This is very common for all of you. I hope you have done that, but still you can see that. So there, we are talking about the container, right? So if I want to create container, I can click on add container. Just give the name, say this is demo underscore container. And you can just click on the create. That's it. It will create one more container for you. And you can assume this is just like a folder only, right? In layman language, you can understand this is just like a folder only demo container is there. Right now, I don't have anything here. So you can just open and you can click on upload button for uploading your data here, right? I don't have any files right now, but you can see in case you want to upload, I have two folders, two containers we created. One is with the name resume row. So I need to upload resume here. And I have one more folder reports, which will be saving all the reports for me. So just like I did this one, like Saurabh Taneja, AI trainer. So it just created this JSON file for me. You can see it took the same name and underscore report it added here, right? And it saved automatically on this place. We will discuss about this one later, but right now we can focus on storage account right now. You can also see another folder that is again a container with the name resume-row, right? So you can just check it out. This one, I need to upload. I can click on upload here and can click on this browse button. And as you will click on it, it will show you dialog box. You can upload any of data inside this container, right? Right now, this file is here. In case you want to check it out, I just need to click on it, but you will not be able to see the content. In case you want to do that, you need to click on download, and then after you will be able to find that information from this. So during the execution time, you may get some error. In that case, you can please cross-check the address of it. So this is the URL, right? You can also copy it from this place as well, right? This is URL. And once you will upload, it will show you the complete address. So it is going to show you that storage account 26 is the name of storage account. And we discussed about blob, queue, table, right? So it is indicating it's a part of blob. Rest of things will be same, core windows.tab. So this is the main address that we need to pass in my environment variable later on. For now, just forget. But you just understand this is indicating like in my blob storage, I have a container or a folder with the name resume-row, in which I have a file with the name Saurabh Taneja AI trainer.pdf, right? In my case, I had the white space. That's why I copied the address from this place only, right? It doesn't matter. But right now, it's fine, totally okay. What I have discussed in this particular storage account, I just discussed like you need to create a storage account. It's not a big deal. After creating a storage account, you can come here, you can click on this container, you can create a new container by clicking on add container. Once container is done, I just need to upload my file. That's it. This is only the thing that you need to do. In case you want to talk about the address, you may also go, which is also recommended here. You can come in the setting and we have endpoints. And in this place, you can find the same thing. This is the same thing I was discussing. Like we have, this is the address. Endpoint is in layman language, you can say address of my blob service. In case if I need to share someone, like what is the blob address, I can give this address. Storage account 26 is the name of my storage account. Then after blob core.windows. Right, this is the address. Similarly, we discussed about file service. For that, you can see rest of things are same. Storage account 26, only file is being changed, core.windows.net. Queue is same, like queue is changed, only rest of things are same. Table is changed, rest of things are same. It doesn't matter, but just now why I'm discussing so that you can understand and you can correlate these things with the storage account. Yes, we have different type of data that we can save inside my storage account, right? So right now, this is basic things. I hope some of you are already aware, maybe the guys who are already working on Azure, they will be aware about this common service. We use a lot, right? So mota what we have discussed, like we have just discussed about storage account, I need to create a container and I need to upload the data in that folder only. That's it. This is the thing that you need to do. With that, we have a lot of things that we can discuss, but one of the important thing that may be required. Right now, we are using this particular service for saving my data. But in future, you says, I want to share this service with other or we can say like it may be, your other project members are there. So you can come to this IAM, that is basically on access control, right? I want to add the different members. I want to give the different roles. So for example, I want like any new interns that I have hired for a particular project. I want to give only the reader access to someone who is on the same level. I want to give the contributor or maybe other things. So in that case, you can come to this access control and you can check this add, and we have add role assignments, right? What type of assignments role you want to give to your member? So first of all, you can choose what role you want to give. So I say contributor. So we have the different kind of contributors out there. So what service you want to talk about, like maybe like automation contributor, application insight, or advisor. So you can have something. So right now I want to talk about only storage storage. I want to give this AI developer, AI administrator, right? You want to give the different services. So for now, I'm just assuming like I want to give this AI developer service, right? So this is a role that I'm selecting right now, which is a AI developer, right? That's fine. This is the role name, but to whom you want to give. So you need to add the select members, right? So this is a button there, select members, and you can choose your colleagues' names or any other person who is from your organization who have the same tenant, they can start using this thing. So maybe like Dennis is here or Dharmender is here, right? You can select and you can add. But right now in this project, you don't need to give this access to any other person. We want to use directly. So we need to go to this managed identity. That means it will be automatically managing the things for you. And now, once again, I clicked on this select members. So that means what service you want to attach with, right? So you need to choose function app, right? A function app that we will create, right? And for example, I have already created my function app. What was my function app? This function app that was orchestrating all this system, right? That means that will be triggering on any particular event, right? So this is my function app. I want to manage identity. I want to add this one. So I can click on it and can select, right? I'm not doing right now. That's totally fine. But right now, guys, you are understanding. I discussed two important things here in the storage account. One is my data storage, in which we can create my container, one thing. And the second thing, very easy, to give access, to give roles to your members one way, and you can also add some of the resources which can be managed automatically. So in that case, you can come to this access control. You will be doing a role assignment. And in this role assignment, you will choose what role you want to give. And you can choose out of this lot of services, roles are there. You can choose any one of them. And after this, you can select the member, right? So you will be selecting right now out of these things, I want to add my function app. That's it. Is it okay? So I have discussed two important things here. Yes, we can have multiple different roles are there. Right now, I was talking about on the next level because first example I was talking about the members, actual members. Then after we are talking about the service in the managed identity. So AI developer can have almost same role, just like a contributor, but I think in that we can't do the more changes, but more changes just like an admin. Similarly, you can have a lot of other roles can be there, right? But right now, in case you want to start using this container or you want to access any of service, you want to upload or delete any service, so you need to first of all need to get the address. So in this one, you can just check HTTP. You can just add the storage name. We had a storage name with the name strgac storage account 26. This was the name of my storage account. And we also discussed like we can keep on changing blob, dot table, dot queue. Like this way you can change, rest of things will be same, right? Okay, so we were discussing about this storage account, and in this way, like we need to get my container reference. In case you want to download underscore blob, this is the method. You can start using this kind of a method, and you can just mention the file name that you want to download. You will need to give the address, and then after you can download, or you want to upload container.upload underscore blob. Very easy. You can just upload or download your files easily from the blob container by using SDK. Next thing, we have Azure Function. And Azure Function is also one of the important stuff here because most of you will not be aware about this one. But this is a serverless service. I discussed multiple times. Serverless means we don't need to worry about the servers, right? Just like Azure takes care of that for us automatically. That lets you run the small piece of code without worrying about servers or infrastructure, right? So this means like it is something like you can think of it as a brain or controller of your whole process. Just like in the diagram also we have seen like this was at the center and this is orchestrating, this was controlling all the complete process. So this is just like a code as a service. Instead of building the whole application and managing a server or hosted, you just upload your code and tell Azure when to run. So for example, right now we said like whenever you upload the document, it will be triggered. So you just mentioned you triggered. How you did that, I will talk about it. You need to upload your code, and then after you will tell the Azure when to run it. And it is perfect for small focused task, like where we need to execute any small code. I don't want to worry about infra security and other things. I just want like whenever this kind of a thing happen, I just want like this code should be executed, right? You can specify that. So in case you want to do some basic data processing, just like Ray here, we are talking about this part like where we want to automatically resizing an image as soon as it uploaded, right? It will resize the image whenever you will upload. It was in 1024.768. You want to make it small image so that you want to save that image in your database with smaller size. Later on, you will upload or you will use that one. It can be follow any other process, but for now, my requirement, I want to save this image in my backup area. This is one example I'm taking to, so for that, we want to resize an image. You want to do scheduled tasks like resending an out a weekly email report, right? Means without manual efforts, you want to send a weekly email report. Web API, like creating a lightweight backend for mobile or web app, like is like for any mobile application or web application. For that, you want to create a backend for your that particular application, or automation, automatically cleaning up database once a day. So these are the various examples that you for which you can start using this Azure function. In this, we will mainly talk about HTTP trigger, which is very commonly used Azure function. Like for this particular thing, we use a lot. HTTP trigger is most commonly way to use Azure function. It allows you to call your code via standard web URL. So how we can do this? Like in this case, we have again, yes, we can do that. Like here, we will need to get my reference here first of all. Like in this case, we are first importing Azure function as FUNC. So we will again start using this code in our main project as well. So this will be, first of all, will be importing your Azure function so that we can create a function. So this is a reference only. We understand this is a alias name, right? In Python also, we understand Azure.function as func. This is a alias name, so that this reference will help us to create a my function. While we also want to do the logging message, like we normally use this part for debugging purpose. In this example, we are not using it much, but it is commonly included here, so that you want to add the log information for the maybe for debugging purpose, as we discussed. Then after, you want to get your app object, a app reference from this FUNC part. You want to use function app. So this is something you can think of this as a container that hold all of our functions. So you want to get the reference of it, and then after you want to call this at the app.root. This is the app.root, and you want to pass root hello, and you want to also pass the method. So this means we are creating a HTTP endpoint, and the URL that is ending with hello, it will respond to a get request. Now you will be calling this function with the name HTTP get. You are sending the request as func HTTP request, and the response will also be in the HTTP response, right? So this means that we are talking about creating a HTTP endpoint, right? And this will be receiving HTTP request and send back the HTTP response. Inside this, we are just going to get that request. What is the request here? Here we have the request is here. So request.params.get, you want to pass the argument as name and word. Here it will check if the URL contain this parameter called named. That means like name is equals to, for example, Azure. So if the name is not provided, it will use the alias word as word. Means in case if you're not passing the name, it will be using the word as default. Means this is a small example only, nothing else. Don't take it seriously. Just like this is a simple function. And whenever it will be HTTP request will come, it will be triggered. And in the triggering, you are passing some HTTP request response, and you are expecting this HTTP response again, right? So in this, you will be need to get you need to pass any name. If not passed, in this case, a word will be taken as input, and the name value will be word. Otherwise, you will pass that. And in return, it will be passing the response hello. For example, I pass name is equals to Saurabh, right? In the runtime, the input was Saurabh, right? So it will be saying hello Saurabh. This is Azure function. So this is just to show you like how exactly you can start using Azure function. So Azure function is something like whenever this input will be triggered, HTTP request will come, it will trigger and will call this particular function. And in this function, it will need to receive the name as input, and you will start getting the response like that, right? It will be happening. Just a small introduction I have just discussed here related to Azure function. So as we discussed, like when you will define Azure function, you need to tell first of all, like what type of authentication you are using. So we have that option. Authentication mechanism, during the creation of it, it will give us those options. Otherwise, you can specify like what type of authentication option you want to choose, right? You can give that argument in that. Second thing, you're talking about execution order. So as we discussed, like whenever you are just choosing the different triggers are there, we have just discussed about the HTTP request. So as you will receive this HTTP request, this is the input. It will automatically trigger this function, right? So you will be passing this all, and it will be triggering it. And on triggering, it will be taking this input. For example, we have taken the name, and the name was Saurabh. So it will just return the this response, whose response was hello Saurabh. This is Azure function. This is the response that we can expect. I can show you like what is happening in this. So this is particular Azure function. When you will start creating it, during the creation time, you can have the multiple different plans are there. So to use this Azure function, we are using the flex consumption, which is scaling behavior is here. In that, we have the dedicated compute and prevent the cold start. That will okay, and that after scale out means some basic information are there. But definitely, like later you says, I want to make my complete web application. You can choose the app service. You want to use containers or some consumption plan in which you will get the better pay as you go. Pay as you go. In fact, everything is here. But yes, you will get the better services in that. But right now, we have taken the basic plan. This will not be allowing us for example, if in case I want to do the changes in my HTML, it will not be done here. But right now, you can just assume like I want to create my function app just like the same way as we have done earlier. So here you can give function name. For example, I have given some basic name. With that, reason is Central, Canada Central, no problem. I just want to choose the runtime. What type of code you will be writing inside this? Like once you says, I want to trigger, I want to do something, that time, what type of code you want to write? .NET, Node.js, Python, or Java. So choosing the Python only. The version, it's better to choose up to 3.11. Don't take above that because otherwise it will not be following some of the services in that project. Later on, you want to choose anyone, no problem. But right now, for using the basic NumPy and other things, it will be preferable to use up to 3.7 to 3.11. I'm choosing 3.11, no problem. And then after storage, you can give your storage account name. Right now, okay, I can just give any new name. But otherwise, you will first create your storage account, and then after it will start choosing the same one. In my case, I have not taken the same reason. That's why it is not showing me. I should choose Sweden Central. Rest of things are same, no problem. I got this time. My already prepared storage account V2, in which we have already uploaded my content. I have already given the permission as well. I have already added my files, right? I have already created this storage account 26, and this time it will start showing me this right? Otherwise, earlier it was not showing me. Next, Azure OpenAI. Do I want to enable the Azure OpenAI with my Azure function? Should it access these credentials? I say yes. What is my Azure OpenAI resource? So I'm just choosing the same Sweden Center. And there we have OpenAI 26. I have also created that Azure OpenAI resource here, right? So you can see that Azure OpenAI, and I already created this Azure OpenAI with the name AI Resume hyphen OpenAI 26. So during the creation of Azure OpenAI, we are talking about the various things. Means I'm talking about this service AI Resume OpenAI 26. I have already created, so going to choose this one as well here, right? Want to take this vector storage detail as it is, you can move ahead. Networking, leave it as it is. Monitoring, do you want to track everything, like whatever is happening on your Azure function? In case you want to track, you want to keep tracking of all the attached or integrated service, you want to check all the log information, you want to make your own dashboard for handling or metrics or monitoring everything, you can say yes, and it will take little extra time to create your application site, but for now we are not taking, right? So make it no. Next, deployment, put it as it is. For authentication, we don't want to pass the keys directly, so we want to go with managed identity. That means it will be managing the infra automatically. I don't want to dive in this. And after that, you can click on the review plus create. Please, everyone, focus on this. Whenever you want to create this app function, you need to tell about, first of all, runtime stack, that is, Python, .NET, or any other. You also need to specify the version. It must be 3.11. After that, we have already created the storage account, this storage account AC, we have added that. Then after, we have also created a Azure OpenAI. So we enabled, and then after we choose this address, right? This was a Azure OpenAI that we have already created. Okay, no problem. What next? Networking, we put it as it is. For monitoring, we have just made it a no. That's it, right? So this is something you need to do. And after that, you will be able to find your function app. So this function app I already created with the name AI Resume hyphen agent. Okay, no problem. So this is a function here. Now you see here on the overview page, we created this all in this particular project. I gave the name my resource group hyphen project 26. And in all the resources, I have taken Sweden Central. In all the project, I have taken the same location as Sweden Central. With that, you can find, like by default, it will give the domain here, and the domain name will be like that, azurewebsite.net. So make sure this is going to create a complete website for you as you start using it, right? So right now we are using this one so that you can also get your front end. So either you click on this or either you click on this browse button. So when I click on browse, in case sometime it will be stopped, so I need to restart, or let's see like if it is working or not. Here, resume agent, okay. So this is something like you will see this Azure AI resume hyphen agent dot azure website.net. So this is a kind of a web application, right? That will be running at the back. It will be using the app service. So that's why we are using this kind of a front end. Since we have choose this flex consumption plan, it will not allow us to change the UI. Otherwise, you want to make this one as a complete project, and you want to use this one as a, you want to do the changes in your front end, you can do that. It is already deployed, and you can start using immediately. So this is a kind of a web application for you, right? So for now, since we have used this as a flex plan, that's why it is not showing. It will not allow us to do the changes. Otherwise, this is a up and running place for you, right? So this is a a function app. But right now, you says I want to make my own function. So we have already created this function inside this, and it will be triggered on HTTP triggering. Earlier, I'm talking about 1 or 2 years back, like we used to get all the options here for performing the task, but right now we can do it with the help of Visual Studio or CLI or with the help of VS Code desktop. By this way, we can create the function. Earlier, it also used to give us all those options, like I'm talking about HTTP, or we had the different ways, we had the different ways of triggering. One of them is HTTP trigger, right? So in case you want to do that, you need to write the code. I will come back onto this. But once you will create the, you will add the HTTP trigger. After that, we got the function. This is the main function. How we have done that? First of all, you see that. Guys, I'm just talking here about the Azure function. And to use this Azure function, we need to create a function here, right? And I'm going to talk about this main function. I will talk about this thing in more detail later on, but right now, for your reference, I'm talking about this function.http request. This is indicating like this is a HTTP request will come and this function will be triggered. And in response, it will give the HTTP response as well. This will be the output here, right? So you can see the name of the function is main function. And that's why we are also able to find this main function here, right? Which is going to execute this code. Where is the code? As I see this function, in this function, we have some code. It means whenever HTTP request will come, it is going to execute the same code that I have discussed in that VS code, right? You can see this main function, right? So whenever you want to execute, it will be triggered and it will be executed. You want to execute manually, you can click on test and run. You can pass your input in this body. Like I want to pass my address of my resume. I want to pass JD, and it will start executing. For example, I need to see this code. There we have. I want to pass this particular thing. I want to pass my resume blob, in which I will say like my resume is in this storage account. In the storage account, we have a container with the name resume-row, and whatever the name of my file, I can just specify with that job description. I want to add this whole information as an input in my function, right? I need to change this name, and as I will click on run, it will start processing this particular resume and will compare with this JD, will give me ATS score, will give me what are the different skills which are matching and which are missing, and finally all the keywords which are resembling, right? By this way, I can execute. On the high level view, you can understand this all is going to happen in my Azure application, this function app. This function app is something I discussed here only this part, how you can start creating this function app. After that, I did discuss about the extra information about this browse, which is a front end where you can see this kind of a web application as well. Right now, we are not using, just for your information, I added that extra information. You, in this project, you just need to create it, this function app. And after creation of this app, you need to create this trigger function by the Python code. How we did that, we will discuss. But what is the beauty? So whenever this will trigger, you will be able to find this main function. And whenever you want to execute automatically, it will trigger automatically. But you says, I want to run or test by clicking on this button, also you can do. Right, guys? So till here, are you okay? Are you fine? I also want to add one more thing, like in case you want to execute, I'm talking about this function app only. This function app is something like we have already attached doc intelligence, blob storage, and other things automatically. Whenever you will upload, this function app will trigger. This will be activating rest of other resources. And very first, it will be calling Azure doc intelligence, right? This will be calling and will convert this all data into the raw text by using OpenAI. It's like this will be getting the raw text from the doc intelligence, and this raw text will go to the OpenAI for generating the ATS code. So this is happening, and the core area there we have this function app.
So I hope you're finding this helpful so far. Before we move on, I just want to quickly share something that could help you level up your career. So if you're serious about landing high-paying AI and machine learning jobs, we have got a free masterclass on AI ML and agentic AI that breaks down the simple three-step framework that's helped learners like Shrija, Mark, Steve, and many others land their dream AI roles. So don't miss out on this opportunity. You can register using the link in the description and pin comment below.
We just discussed whenever you will upload the document, it will trigger and will start calling this doc intelligence. I hope you will be getting the basic idea like how it happened here at the back. Still, we have not discussed the code, how exactly you will write the code for triggering, for developing this HTTP request and response. But whenever it will happen, internally, it will start calling this doc intelligence. It will provide the raw text that will go to the OpenAI, and OpenAI is going to generate this ATS score for us. Yes. Okay. Then after, now we are going to talk about Azure OpenAI. I hope you all are back now. And in Azure OpenAI, we were talking. OpenAI is a partnership between the two chains. Like if you remember, I discussed this thing multiple times. Like in the beginning, as after 30th November 2022, when the world start talking about generative AI, even for first 4 months, 5 months, no big vendor was entertaining. But later, after June, July, Microsoft decided to dive into this, but immediately he realized he need to get these LLMs with OpenAI. Probably he will be developing those LLMs at the back, but it was not so much successful. We are aware about the Phi. It was not popular in the beginning, but they start collaborating with OpenAI. Means right now they offer to execute all the models on the Microsoft Azure cloud platform. Still, they are running all the LLMs on this cloud platform. So think of this like OpenAI provide the brain, the smart AI model. You will see the GPT family is, we are aware about, this is from OpenAI. And Azure provide the secure house only. Like all these models are being executed on Microsoft Azure platform because security is something very much important. So all the servers, securities, and tools are being provided by Azure only. So this is Azure plus OpenAI. In the beginning, it was a very small platform. Initially, we used to call it Azure OpenAI only. Then after they changed one name, again, some basic changes were happened. And later they decided Azure AI Foundry. And again, they changed as Microsoft Foundry now, right? So they have done a lot of changes in past 1 or 2 years, especially. So they have done a lot of things now. And now we have this Azure OpenAI service where you can find the GPT-4o. You need to just go with this model, or you can go with other. But in this project, we are using GPT-4o that is helping us to find the keywords, or also helping us for scoring. We discussed in the architecture as well. With that, we also need one more model, embedding model. That is text embedding ADA model. We discussed about it, this kind of a model, because at the back, it will convert all this input data into the vector form. Why? To find out semantic similarity. We have also discussed this part, like what is the role of semantic similarity and how it works at the back. I discuss in very much detail. So once again, like to get that thing right, king and queen, and to find out these two are more related in comparison to Apple, right? Apple is far away. This is king and queen, both are very near. And to find out the similarity, we can use the different way. We can use Euclidean or cosine. We have the different ways to find out the similarity between these two. So we can use any one of them to find the semantic similarity. And also to get my ATS result, we can get it, right? So we are going to use this Azure OpenAI by different ways. So this code that is also discussed multiple times, but you can just check once again how you will start using OpenAI. So very first, we used to discuss a lot about client.methoding, right? Here we have the complete namespace client.chat.completion, right? Similar way we do in Foundry as well. We do that chat.completion.create, and we need to get my client. How can I get my client? By providing the endpoint and the key, right? What is endpoint? I need to give the address of Azure endpoint. I need to provide the key as well. And here one extra thing, version, right? So you can pass any of stable version here. We have, once you pass, you will get your client object. And then after we can call client.chat.completion. What is happening? Why are we talking about it? So there, very first, once you will create your Azure OpenAI, you need to get your client After that, you need to tell two important things. One, model. Like in this environment, what is my model name? You will specify your model name is GPT-4o or it is any other 4.1 or 5.0 or 5.2. You can start using the model name and also specify the message. In the message, we normally talk about the system message, like what is the behavior, you are a helpful assistant, and what exactly you want to do. Explain Azure OpenAI in 2 sentences. So this is one example, but in our case, we want to go and want to perform this task for getting the ATS score. So we can specify the same thing here and we can get the response here back, right? So this is something like we will be performing here and we will extract the response here. See how we can use this. Once again, I'm going to talk here about the Azure OpenAI. And to get my Azure OpenAI, once again, you can provide the basic information. That is not a big deal. We discussed like you need to get your client object. And to get my client object, once again, I just need to reach here in resource management. And there we can find keys and endpoint, right? We can copy keys and endpoint from this place. And we can start using pasting these things in this area, right? By this way, we can get my client object and using the client dot chat dot completion dot create, we can do that. And we need to specify the model name and the message. This was very easy. You are saying like whatever the input we have, you can specify here in this, and it will be based on this query. Whatever the query we have, you can get the response back from this model, GPT-4. But how? Right now, we have discussed here only the GPT. You discussed about keys and endpoint. We have pasted. But what about the model, right? So again, you can just reach back to the overview page. And where's the environment where we can start getting all the model? Once again, we need to go to the Foundry portal, right? As you will click on this, it will start opening this platform for you like this way. And this is my OpenAI, Azure OpenAI platform. Just like earlier, like we discussed about model catalog, where we have hundred of thousands of models are there. We have all the features are there. Some playgrounds are here. We have tools are there. But right now, I'm interested to deploy my model, right? So in the catalog, just like similarly, we have discussed in Microsoft Foundry. This is the part of it. Under the Microsoft Foundry, we are talking about OpenAI. In that, we have discussed about this model catalog. Right now, I just want to click on this deployment, right? And under the deployment, you can again find out your model by clicking on deploy model. So as you will click here, you will need to search here as GPT-4o, right? And we can deploy whatever the model you says. It will be showing you only the GPT's model here, not all the model. Just like in other model catalog, we get thousands of model. It will be showing, only Azure OpenAI models. So you can choose your model or whatever the model you want to use. You can click on it and you can click on confirm after that, right? By this way, you can get, I have already deployed 2 models, GPT-4o and text embedding ADA 002. Why are we using this model? What is the purpose of this model? This is vector we call embedding, right? We want to do embedding to get the vector data. Yes, very good. We go and Jaswinder, very good. So right now we are okay with that. Like we just need to use this kind of a content here in the code. So guys, why I'm discussing it? Because in the main project, once I will start talking about it, you will have the reference. We have discussed doc intelligence. We have discussed about the storage account, and then after Azure function. And now the last one, it was about this one about the Azure OpenAI. In these cases, you need to get client object, and then after you can use this namespace chat completion.create. You need to only pass your GPT-4o model name in this place. Your deployment name is GPT-4o. And you can specify what is my system message. You will say, you are an recruiter specialist and you need to get ATS score. You will give some behavior. You need to tell about some basic rule on what basis you want to find out the best person, the skilled person. And you can specify, I want to extract the ATS score. I want to extract similarly missing skills, and also want to find out the semantic similarity, right? You can specify this all in this place in the user. And as a result, like it will be providing you the response, right? So I hope you all are with me. And now we can just move on to the code, how exactly you will start implementing it. So guys, very first, as you will come here, very first you need to install some of the extensions here. So you can reach here and you can keep on searching about Azure resources, Azure tool, right? As well as Azure function. You can just check it out, any of the resource here. And as you will see, some of there will be already installed. If not, you can click on install. Just like, for example, this is not required, but I'm just showing you, this is an install button is here. You just need to click on it. So these extension will be required before diving into actual code, right? Okay, so here we have the main function, function underscore app.py. Even I included a lot of extra files there, but I'm not getting time to discuss about all the stuff, but no worries. So there in the code, you also need to do one more thing. So you need to reach here, 1 minute. So basically I did hard code it here because I was getting some bug that was due to the Mac installation. Otherwise, this is not recommended. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, we'll talk about that later, but first we can understand the code here. No worries. Okay, guys, so now we can proceed with this code. And please, everyone, bear with me, because once you will understand this, rest of things will be okay. So whatever we have discussed till now, you can just check. These are some of the requirement.txt, which is specifying some of the versions. In my case, I was not getting this particular small Python version, that is 3.11. In my case, it was 3.14, but I was not able to change, and some other issues were there related to version only. That's why I switched on to Windows and I showed you that output. But right now you can find some of the packages are there. We have Azure Function. We discussed about identity, managed identity. We have the storage account. In that, we need to go with Azure Blob Storage. We discussed Doc Intelligence, OpenAI. We want to send the request to that any of service, but we can have the get or post. So you want to send the request. We also want to pick some of the credential environment variable from one of the service. I will discuss from where you will do that. And we have to pass the NumPy version as well. So these are some requirements, and to execute pip-r requirements.txt, you can install those of the package. So these all will be executed, and you will be able to install the package. It means is only that like requirement.txt is always good, so that you are going to execute your project in any of environment. It will not be creating any issue, but that is okay. Right now, coming back to the main file. So there I have done some hard coded here, but it is not recommended. But I did it so that I can resolve, or I was debugging. That's why I did it once again. So what you can we have done there. So you can see we have blob URL, right? So from where you will get that blob, and we on the one hand side we have the document intelligence and the endpoint. First of all, you see that. Okay. 1 minute. So there you can see we have saved all the credentials. Since we have already done the RBAC, role-based access control, with this access control, like this was a function. We did the same thing in storage account, in doc intelligence. You will go here and you will assign this function app with those services. That is one thing. But you can see like in the setting page, please everyone, you can do it as well. You could create your own file. You could create your own environment file, .env file, and you could save all of these credentials in that. But we have done another way. We have in the setting page, we have environment variables, right? And in the environment variables, you could add all the code, all the credentials in this area. For example, if I wanted to add my doc intelligence, doc, I can say int underscore, sorry, doc intelligence key, right? I could give this name and could paste my value on this place. For example, so maybe like this is not about Azure Doc Intelligence, it is about Azure OpenAI. I could come here, I could copy it, and then after I could paste by changing the name, say OpenAI underscore key, and I could paste the key here. Is that okay? And just click on apply. Right now I have already done, so I am not going to do this, but you can find we have also done this blob URL. So this is a blob URL. I already added there. What was my blob URL? If you remember, we discussed about it. Storage account 26 blob core window net, right? And from where we got that? If you remember, we discussed about storage account 26. This was a storage account. And in the setting page, we discussed endpoints. And I discussed that time instead of blob service, we have file, queue, table, and other things, right? We copied from this place, right? I could get it from the overview page as well, but I need to get only the blob address, blob endpoint, blob.core windows.net. So we have copied it from there and we saved in the environment variable. Is that okay? This is the one thing we have done. Similarly, you can find the doc intelligence endpoint in the key. We also got embedding model. What was my embedding model? What was the name of embedding model? Yep. Guys, I understand that thing. That will be easy, very easy. Just bear with me. You will understand each and everything. I will come to this points, Joshua, just hold me because we have limited time. So you can find that text embedding ADA 002. This was a modeling, right? Very good. Yes, thank you. Yes, please everyone, bear with me. So you can see like I want to hold this variable name. You can do it in the app setting, right? This is the one better way. So right now I'm coming back to the conclusion. So till now we have understood we have some function app. We have storage account, right? In the storage account, I got my endpoint, but importantly, we are using this container for saving my PDF file. And we have two containers here, importantly, resume a -row to save my PDF, right? What is my PDF name, my resume name? So my resume name is Saurabh Taneja AI Trainer.pdf. This is my old PDF file. That is my resume here, right? So we discussed function app, we have storage account, and then after we have OpenAI and Doc Intelligence. Okay, no problem. I need all these credentials in my project. And we are gonna use these all in this place. I did this one hard-coded, but this is not recommended. Otherwise, you can save all this credential in function app in the environment variable. I hope you all are with me. Till here, no problem. But right now, whenever you see this project, it will come automatically once you will start following the project. Very first, the control will come on your main function. I first want to do it small. Okay, this is my main function only. I have this function here, OpenAI's calculate semantic. Okay, guys, I have few functions out there, right? So you can just check it out. Like I'm gonna use these 4 functions here only. The one function for extracting text from blob. So could you please understand extract text from blob? What is the meaning of this? Please, I'm gonna use only 4 functions. will take hardly 20 more minutes. 20, 30 minutes. We have already 30 minutes with us. So in 30 minutes, we will understand this code. And this is only the code which is going to understand the complete project, right? So please tell me, like, what you are understanding with extracting text from blob. This is the name of the function. Yeah. Okay. Getting the text from resume. Yes, very good. And where is my resume right now? Means you will be uploading in storage account. Yes, from storage. Very good. Excellent, guys. This response is already very good. Like you will be feeling like, yes, you are understanding once you start writing. So how can I call environment variable? Kashif, you can see like we have the same type of code. It will automatically pick because it is a part of this is a part of your service. So you can get it from again os.get.env. By this way, it will be extracting your data from your environment variables, right? Don't worry about it. Okay, so guys, very good, excellent. So here you are talking about this function name that is extract text, as I have already written here as well. Download resume from the blob storage, and then after we'll convert this all into the raw binary form, read binary form, and then after we'll extract all the raw data for you. So this is the role of this function. Just remember that. We will understand the code later on, right? Yes, very good, Manav. So extract text from the blob. Then after we want to save the text to the blob. Once again, once you will extract, means you got the raw data and you want to upload this JSON report override if already exists. So you need to tell about the container name here and it will be saving this all. We discussed about upload underscore blob, only 2 lines of code. Like you will get the container name. What is the container name? And after getting the container name, you will upload underscore blob. In the PPT, we discussed download blob, upload blob. Blob means my file. What is the file name? It will be uploading. We'll talk later, right? We have extracted. We are using one function for saving the data back here in the folder. This will be the report only, response. Also, we want to get my semantic similarity. We discussed about it as well. Where is that doc? Would you please see this? We also discussed to get my semantic similarity in this place, right? To get my semantic similarity, I need to get this all keyword extraction. I will use this embedding data that will help us to get my semantic similarity, these keywords, right? And for performing this task, I also need to calculate the semantic similarity. So I have JD text and resume text. I will use embedding model to convert this JD and my resume text into the vector form. And which model I'm going to use? You said, you informed me, the model name is text embedding ADA 002. This will convert. And this will help us to get my semantic similarity by any one of the method. What is the method? I can use manually as well, sir. I can use Euclidean, I can use this cosine, and we have many other methods are there, functions are there. I can extract my cosine similarity. This will help me to know more about my resume, right? So resume, where I want to upload, I want to extract the resume first, and internally it will be extracting and will give me the raw data. I will use Azure OpenAI to get my report. And that report I want to upload back into my storage account. That's fine. After that, I also need my semantic similarity that I want to get, right? That is all. I have the 3 different functions are there. What is going to happen? I also want to call OpenAI for scoring. In fact, this method should be above that, right? So what I want to pass my input as my job description. I will have resume task text, sorry. So this is 2 important thing. I'm going to pass. I want to pass 2 input here, job description and my resume, right? So with that, I want to specify into my OpenAI chat completion. You're like, sir, your work, I will say to GPT-4o, your work is to extract keyword and score. And as a result, I want to get my JSON which is indicating about my ATS score. We'll be doing breakdown, will provide me all the match keywords and the missing keyword. Is that okay? So this is something like you will be expecting input as job description and text. You will specify to this OpenAI model, right? And for that, we are writing a separate function here. And as a result, you will see the output like that. So we discussed about 3 functions for easy. This 4th function is for OpenAI. You want to use your LLM. You want to use Azure OpenAI for extracting or for generating this ATS score. We'll talk about the skills and experience and other information. We'll talk about the match and missing keywords. Still, we don't have the semantic similarity here because for that, we have used one more function here, right? This function will help me to give me the semantic similarity. I will merge up all the things later on to generate my file, right? This is all thing. Till here, we have just discussed the 4 functions. Yes. Is that okay? I could put that one above as well, no problem. Just for the better understanding, I can just do it here. Now we have these 4 functions are there that we have discussed here. And above that, we have only, these all credentials that we want to use in this project, right? To make it very easy, we are understanding like here, we are using a particular function for extracting the data from my storage account and will help me to convert that data into the plain text by using doc intelligence. One thing. Second, it will generate my response and will be helping us to save all the data back to my storage account as a response. One function here, which is going to calculate semantic similarity. What is that? Again, what are the similar things are there in my JD and in my resume? Okay, and finally, also want to use this OpenAI that will be helping us to get my score, match, and the missing keyword. I hope you all are with me and you are understanding all these 4 functions. I'm trying to make it very easy. So later on, once you will see your project, it must be easy for all of you. And interviewer is going to ask any questions related to it. You must have the good answers with you, right? So this is the expectation. Okay, right now, I hope that is okay. And now the main function, right? And even though before coming to the main function, you can see small thing. Even if I remove this blob, other things, like if blob is not there, I can remove that. If I didn't get my doc intelligence endpoint, then it will be showing this particular exception, doc intelligence endpoint environment requirement. Endpoint is not there, then it will show, right? But this object is important. I need to get my OpenAI client. We just discussed in the PPT slide, like you need to get OpenAI and need to provide endpoint and the key to get my OpenAI client. What was the next step? If I want to use this Azure OpenAI client, what should I do next? Could you please help me? Yeah, I will get the response, but can I get my response through the client only? What should I write? Client dot, yes. This is the client object, that is okay. Yes, chat dot completion dot create, right? So that was the complete method, right? That's dot chat dot completion dot create. And what I need to pass inside this, 2 arguments. One was model name and one was my message object, right? Basically message contain 2 things, system message and my user, that is input basically, right? I'm writing in short in the chat, you can just check this. So this is something I will come back, but you must be ready for this. Sometimes interviewer will ask you to write the code. Show me what you will write. So at least you must have idea. You can't write everything as it is because this is a new era. You don't need to write the syntax just like Java. It's not the time, but at least you must have idea what you need to do. Okay, sir, I will get my client object and then after I will need to call this chat.completion.create. I need to pass my message object as well as I will pass my input. Input means my system message, my user message. If I want to give more examples, I can add there in the message object and will hit it, right? We'll come back, but I hope you all are with me. And you can resemble this all with this part. I'm talking about it. Azure OpenAI client, you got it client. After that, my query was, what you will write after that? You said chat.completion. So dot create as well. And I said, what argument you're going to pass? One is a model name, one is a message object. Message object consists of two important things, system message and user. Right, okay, very fine, very good. All right, so coming back to the further point, so we have discussed like what we have, client object. We have 4 different functions I can call anytime. When will I call this? In my main function, we will decide. When do we need that? Okay, so we'll talk about this main function, and you can see this create an HTTP trigger Azure function. How we know this is Azure function? So someone was asking like how you can define authentication level. I said we can define in this, like what type of authentication levels are there. So I'm not remembering because I used to call this function, used to use this function a lot earlier, but forgetting some 2-3 more options are there. But right now, this is on the function level. I'm going to get my reference as app, as we discussed in PPT, and to call that thing, when it will be triggered. So that time it need to call this function, optimize resume. So what is my optimized resume? This is the main function, right? So this is the name that you will also give. We'll talk later on. But right now you can understand, like whenever HTTP you are going to upload or this is going to trigger any HTTP input will come, you will do something, it will trigger this function, right? And you will going to read the JSON request, read request JSON, will validate the input, will download the resume from the blob. As we discussed, like the very first step is to download the resume from the blob. After that, this blob will be converted back into the raw data, extract text from the resume. Then once you have the raw data with you, you are going to call this OpenAI for scoring, and you will save the report to the blob. Means right now we got score, we got some matching and missing things that we will get here, and it will save all the information in the blob and return score to the client as well. This is what, right? So what I mean, what are we going to do here? Step by step we can see, because everything is lying in this main function. Now, please everyone bear with me. So this is a main function. As we discussed in the PPT slide, like here, you have your input, and this input is HTTP request, and it will give the response as HTTP response, right? So what is the request? It is going to trigger whenever HTTP request is coming. It will call this function, and it will give me the response back in HTTP response. Okay, let's see. So we have this function here. So main function, as we know, this is the entry point. Right now it will come here as my entry point for this ATS scoring score system, right? This is, we'll be calling this particular main function is entry point. And this function is my Azure function, which we know this is this func is indicating this is my Azure function, and which is my serverless ATS score agent, right? And we also discussed this main function is something like Azure function is something which is behaving just like a main orchestrator between a lot of different services we have discussed here. What service we have discussed? Storage account, means I'm talking about blob. We have document intelligence, we have OpenAI, or finally we are going to get my response. So everything is around this that function is Azure function. So very first, we are talking about this main function. This is going to trigger by your HTTP request, and you have some input and output. What is my input? So there, this input is indicating to JSON payload from client. And output is, it will give you this HTTP response. This will be, output will be your ATS score. So I repeat this thing, what I'm saying, you have JSON payload is here, right? This is about my input only. And as you are going to pass this input, and as a response, we are expecting some response here. This response JSON output, that will be output, right? And what is my this JSON output? It will be ATS score in JSON format, right? So this is something I'm expecting here. Okay. Okay, so very first statement here, we can see this is payload request dot get underscore JSON. So this is something we know REQ, this is the request, this is this object, right? This request is indicating to HTTP request coming to our Azure function, right? As we discussed, we have the we have that input that is basically request, and request is nothing. We have HTTP request that will be accepted by this Azure function only. And this request body contains the JSON data. Basically, what is my JSON data? So in this case, my JSON data is my resume. Basically, not only resume, it is talking about the resume location, and we will have the JD. JD is job description, right? So we want to get that, and we are going to get that request. And get JSON, this method is converting this JSON into the Python dictionary. So this payload is basically indicating to this resume location plus JD. Both the things are there, right? And from this payload object, I said this is dictionary. You remember that thing? Like dictionary is something which contain the key and value pair, right? And from this key value pair, we will have both the things, resume blob and job description. So you want to extract both the things. So if you remember, like if I have the payload, right? If I have some dictionary, for example, like this, and I say I have key one and corresponding to this colon value one, like that. You remember, this is my dictionary. And in case if I want to use this dictionary and want to access any part, I could say like this way, key one. Only this could also work for me. We have another way to do the same thing. I can use dict dot get method, right? So I could use any one of the way, right? But why are we using the get method only? To access the value. So you can understand right now dictionary have both the things for me. One is containing the resume blob. I can take the same example. And we have job description. So this is a key. Sorry, I'm taking a little time to explain you, but I also want to show something to you. But my basic question is here, like I have a dictionary whose name is payload right now, right? I'm saying I have two ways to extract it. I have two ways to extract the data. One, by the first way is this one, and second is this one. Why are we using get? Why not the above one? Simple index way. Answer is in front of you. So see, guys, like you need to be ready for these basic questions, because interviewer may ask you to show the project or something like that, and will ask you the basic questions on your code. Or they may ask you like, what is the difference between these two things in the normal Python? By both the ways, we can extract the value, whatever the value will be here, resume blob, I may get that by both the ways. Any one of way I could use, but get is more secure. In this way, you can see, like in case if I'm not gonna get any job description, it will give me this blank. That means it will give me the none, but will not throw error. But in this case, if I will be calling this, it will throw error. This is the main difference, right? I hope you're understanding. So this is a small difference between the two different ways of Python. Python have the two ways to extract your data from dictionary. So get JSON is helping us to convert this all into the dictionary form. And I have just extracted this all way by using the get method. I said like my payload is containing both the things, my resume location and JD. So we extracted resume location and we also extracted the description as well, right? We have both the things. So right now, if not resume blob or not JD, if it is not, it will throw error, right? So we have just added this extra line of code. Like in case if I'm not going to be extracted, if I'm not able to extract any of the information, what two information we need? We need JD, and we need resume. Also check this. Can you see this? In this one also, we have just discussed you need to upload the resume and you need to upload the job description. It means that if you are missing any one of them, it will throw error, right? It will throw error. That's why we are talking about both the things. If resume blob is not received or JD is not received, any one of them is not received, then it will throw error and will give this error resume blob and job description required. Both the things are required. Is that okay? Yes, it will come back in this, right? So right now we have this simple thing like by which we can extract this all basic information, and in case if it is not provided, it will throw this error. And now guys, we have both the things in resume blob. What is my resume blob? Please pay attention. So please pay attention. My resume is here, basically in which we have the complete path is here. Okay, I had already there. So this is the part, right? When you will do that, you will get this kind of a response. Right now you can see this is the container name, and after that I have the file name, right? So there you want to extract both the things. So that's why you are going to use this blob.split. So you says like whenever you will get this all information, I want to separate this complete string by the slash. That's why we are using the slash, right? This slash means it will split the things in the two parts. The first one will be the 0 part, and after the slash, it will be the 1 part. That's why we're using the 1. So it will split this complete container separate. The first portion will be container, and this blob, which is containing the file, right? So I will get that. Is that okay? So right now I have just used a simple under explanation of this 2-3 lines code. I did extra things here. So the first thing, we are gonna get my input. The input will be both the things, resume location and the JD. You can compare this with the help of this portion. Like my input is my JSON and my JD. So once you will get that request object, right, that means you are going to get the HTTP request, and your now next work is to separate this resume location and JD. So we did that with the help of a dictionary. We converted in dictionary, and from dictionary we extracted the first location, that is resume blob, and the second is job description as JD, right? After that, we need to extract this all information separately, means container separate, and blob means my file name separate, and we did it by this way, right? Now I have the container, I have the blob. Can I call another function? Extract text from the blob. Right now we have done the very first basic step. Guys, if anyone even just joined the session, no problem. You can also understand like we are going to call this code. This code is responsible for taking the input. What is the input? These two things. And we got both the things separate, resume and JD separate. But still, resume blob is containing two things. One is container. You understand now? Everyone understand container, and the next thing is blob, right? This part is blob. So it will extract both the things separate for us. And we are able to extract this container and blob from my input data, and we are going to call this function. If you remember, we discussed about 4 functions. Out of the 4 functions, the first one was to extract text from blob. And you explained that this function is responsible for providing the raw data. What it was doing at the back? Yes, guys. What will be happening at the back? So there, sorry, one means you're asking about pair. Pair, you're asking about the one. It means like it will be splitting only once. Split only on first, on first slash. Like it will be after the slash only. If I will use slash, it will be split at the slash character only. One means split only once. That will be giving you the list with two parts only. It means that, right? Okay. Yes, right. Yes, guys. So you're saying like picking the resume from the blob. Yes, very good. So it will be extracting and will be picking this all and will provide the raw text data. But raw text data, how can I get my raw text data? It will be downloading the PDF from the blob, right? It will extract, will send it to doc intelligence. Doc intelligence. Yes, right, Vigo. Very good. So you can understand like how can I get my raw data? I discussed multiple times in the beginning of the session, document intelligence, which is a pre-built model and will return the raw text data, right? So we have my input data and I will get my raw data, right? That is very easy. So right now we got my all input, no problem. We got blob. We have separated both the things. Once getting the blob, I will pass like you need to download the file from this container. It will download, and internally this function will call doc intelligence, and this doc intelligence will give me the raw data. I'm not going in this function right now. First, we are understanding the way of main function, right? So in that, we are able to understand like we got the raw data. Is that okay, everyone? So right now, we can just stick with this main agenda. This is the main agenda. So we have my PDF. PDF is in my blob storage, and it triggered the Azure function. And Azure function is triggered. Azure function is calling the main function, right? As we have done. Like this is already attached with this function. And as you will trigger this main function, it is going to trigger and it will call this function first, will extract the data, whatever the input data we have. So we have both the things in this JD and this file, and it is going to call this doc intelligence. So once we will get my whole data as my container and blob, we will call this extract text from the blob, and this will provide me the raw text data. So we have reached till here. We defined the function. We are internally calling a function, which that function is calling the doc intelligence and going to provide us the raw text data, right? Okay, what is the next story? So right now, I also want to call OpenAI for scoring, right? So I want to call OpenAI for scoring. Once again, guys, we have another function here, call OpenAI for scoring. It means this is a function which will be helping us to call the OpenAI. OpenAI, again, we know like we are going to call the GPT-4o, in which we need to provide the job description, right? We had the JD text at the top, and we have the raw text that we have just extracted, right? We have both the things are there. So I just discussed this JD text. We extracted from request. From request, we got the dictionary. From dictionary, till now we were talking about resume blob, and now we are talking about the JD as well. We need both the things, right? So this resume blob that was need to be converted into the raw text. We got it. We got it the raw text by using the simple doc intelligence. And now we have another thing, JD text. So what you will do of these two things? I want to pass these two things into OpenAI in my LLM. So we want to use this OpenAI function, this function, which will be internally calling the OpenAI. And again, same story, guys. Once again, we need to call, that OpenAI client.chat.completion.create and need to provide my message object. In the message, I want to provide both the things, JD and my raw text, so that I can get my score result. So it will be depending upon prompt engineering. The better prompting you will give, more better understanding will be by the your GPT model, and you will get the score, right? So we will discuss again further, like what is going to happen. So right now, we have used this Azure OpenAI, and we are going to get my score. Is that okay? Till here, I hope everyone should be fine, because this is something like where we are getting my OpenAI. We are using the OpenAI to get my ATS score, right? What next? I want to save this result now. I got my raw text data. I had my JD already with me. So for extracting the raw text data, we have used the function first. What was my first function? Where I was using the doc intelligence. Next function, I'm using OpenAI so that it can help me with the ATS score. I got it. I know how to use Azure OpenAI. We did that. Now I want to save the result in my blob once again. Means whatever the response we got, the report we got, we want to merge. But what is happening there? We are using some blob.rsplit dot something something. What is happening here? So see what is happening. So say I'm talking about the blob, and blob means, what is the meaning of blob? I said blob means my file name. But what was the file name? File name was this. Saurabh Taneja AI trainer. Even I gave the full name in the beginning. It is not a good practice. I should take the small example. So let's say like I have this name, saurabhtaneja.pdf, right? Okay, this is the blob. But after that, I'm saying the blob, if the blob name is saurabhtaneja.pdf, after that, I'm using the R split. R split means from the right hand side. It want to split this. And if I will use this part as blob.rsplit and want to split based on dot only. I don't want to use further things. I just want to do it only dot one. It means that if I will do that, it will split into the two parts. That means it will be splitting on the two parts, so not again, only one time it will do. So whatever we have on this side, this is gonna give me the output like that. One output will be Saurabh Taneja and another output will be PDF. Is that okay? But where I'm interested in 0. That means right now, if I will use this blobs R split, it will give me only Saurabh Taneja. Is that okay? Means if I'm going to talk about this particular code, it is going to help you with only the first part of the file name. I hope you all are with me and you are understanding this part. Like in this way, we are going to get only the first portion of the file name, that is Saurabh Taneja, and underscore report.json, right? Means my full file name will be Saurabh Taneja underscore report.json. But in my case, it was Saurabh Taneja AI trainer underscore report.json. This will be the file, right? And we can also check this. What was the part here? So there we had my storage account. And in the storage account, when I executed, this report was saved due to this function, which is gonna save this all with this name. Can you see this report underscore JSON? Is it fine? I hope you all are with me and you are understanding this all. Like what is happening here in this small code, right? And this is input. We are just going to pass this. Like this is a file name, and you need to save all this information in the blob. And which blob? So this time report name blob is here. Means we have a blob container with the name report, and you need to save this all information in that blob, in that particular container, right? So you can see that like here we got all this information. First of all, we are using a function which is helping us to call the doc intelligence, and internally it is going to convert this all into the raw text, one function. Then after second function was using the Azure OpenAI. This was helping us to get my ATS score. Then after third function, which is helping to, first of all, getting the name of it. And then after this whole JSON report plus report will be saved in my storage account. I hope you all are understanding. 3 different functions doing my simple work, and we have defined all these 3 functions in the main. Right? Now, in case once you will start implementing, you will see this particular task, or you will understand the code, you will understand very easily. And later on, when interviewer will ask you, you can explain in better way, just like I'm doing to you. You can also explain these things to your interviewer. Right. Okay. And finally, once you will get the response, you will get the response like that. What is this? This is return something. This line is returning your final output, final what? Final ATS score result to the client, right? And what type of output is this? This is will be in the JSON output. How we know this is in JSON output due to this, right? And status code equal to 200. What is the meaning of it? It means that it is successful, right? That means, like, very first we are talking about the func. Func is the reference. Like, from where we got this func? Please quickly, can you please help me? 1 minute till then. The func is coming from, I totally understand, like we have a lot of code, yeah, function app, but from where? How we are using this function app? I wanted to listen one word, import, right? Quickly, 246. Can you see that? Azure.function. I discussed in the PPT slide. Azure.function func, right? So we use that func. And .http response. That means earlier we discussed HTTP request. This time it is response. This is creating HTTP response for us. And this is what the client, internally, it will be calling postman, front end, system, something receiving. This is happening here, no problem. After that, body. We also discussed about the body. Body means like actual content. Like this is something like which is converting your Python dictionary into the JSON string, right? And then after HTTP 200, this is status code, which indicates like it is successful. That means request processed successfully. If it is 400, that means client error. If it is 500, that means server error. But 200 means it is success. We got that. And this type is something like response client is JSON output. That's why I was saying in the beginning, like this output is in JSON form. How I came to know? By watching this MIME tag. This is important whenever you are using the this output is coming from the browser API, so that time it can help you. So this can be important. Yes, sir. It will be hard to know like where can I get that thing, but I think that this is something related to the web applications. Some courses are there related to web. There you can find maybe in PHP, .NET, and other places. There you can find. Or you can just, nowadays we are in the GPT era. You can just ask like, well, please extract all the HTTP responses code, right? You can get that. So I hope you all are okay with that. Right now we have what we have done. Just you can just follow this all. Please give me a response if you are okay till here. So we are talking about this project, and in this project we have just discussed about this PDF where you want to upload, and then after whenever you will trigger this Azure function. The first function was to convert your doc into the raw text data. We did that. Number 2 function to use your Azure OpenAI to get ATS score. And the third function to save your output, means report in the blob. We have used the 3 functions here, right? And one more function is remaining here that will be helping us to get the similarity, right? So 3 functions we have used in this particular main function. So can I get quick responses again? Yes, is that okay till here? Main function is okay? I got one response from Kumar. Thank you, Kumar. Quickly, I want, like, are we on the same level? Are you stuck in somewhere or not? Like in that case, like if you are, just ask me. So this is basically, I split it each and everything step by step, and I explained all the code. Right, extracting extra things, whatever explanation we have done. So you see that like what we have done, very first you will get your input data in which you will get the resume, location, and JD. You will extract both the things separately, resume separate, JD separate. After that, we will extract from the resume. We have extracted the from resume blob, we have extracted container and blob, and we pass these two things separately in my one function. That was function number one. This will help us to use at the back, it will use doc intelligence, and you will get the raw data. Once you will get the raw data, this raw data you will pass to the OpenAI, and you will also pass the JD. Means JD and the raw function, raw text data, you will pass both the things to OpenAI. This will help you to give you the ATS score. And finally, you want to use one more function to save whole information in one file and want to save this text in your storage account. That's it. Once it will process all the things, you will get all information like that in the HTTP response format. So this is something we have done. Now we can see each function by one. So very first, guys, very first point, we got the resume location and JD, right? And after extracting both the things separately, means out of the resume blob, we extracted container and the blob. Okay. And I use this function very first, extract text from the blob. So where is that function? We have this function is here, right? And we were throwing two important information. One is container name and one is blob name. And this is something which is extracting text using the doc intelligence REST API. So we discussed, we need to get my blob service here, right? Blob service.get container client, and you need to specify the container name. So we got the container name. For example, in our case, what is my container name? So in this case, container name is resume-row. So internally in this variable, it will be container name will be resume-row, and we will get the reference of container. And we discussed in the PPT container.download_blob. So you want to download that folder, but what is the file name? We got that one in the argument. So I repeat, when you were using in the main function, from the main function, you are going to pass two important things, container and the blob. What is container name? So I said that time, the container name was, just a minute so that everyone can understand. So for example, container name was resume-row, if I'm not wrong, /saurabh.pdf. This was the complete thing. And we got both the things separate as container separate and blob separate. Now I want to pass these two things in this function, and function will throw the resume-row as first argument, and blob means my file name. When you will throw this all, it will reach here in this function, right? We're getting the two things, resume row and the row, this file name as saurabh.pdf. That means blob name is this, and container name is this row, right? So this is happening here. Means you are passing the container name as resume row, and the blob name is saurabh.pdf, right? So once you are done with this part, after that you are going to get the container object, and you are gonna download this, right? And then after you are going to extract all the information, means your all information from the downloader. We got that. Means right now all the data is in my hand with this reference blob_data. And this explanation I did in the very first one. I discussed about URL, I discussed about header, and you need to hit that one on this address. We have the blob, we have the header. Header is something, again, I discussed all this stuff, right? So right now we want to hit on the doc intelligence. I discussed about that address in US. This is the complete address. Where is my input? The input is in read binary form, right? I have the blob data. I want to hit this input on my doc intelligence. It will be hitting, and we will get the raw data, right? This all is here. And we wrote that function, and we were using this function in the main. There. And as a result, we got the raw data, right? So thank you, Kumar. So there we are using the very first function here, in which we discussed like how you can get the raw data by using the doc intelligence. And we use the function number one. Then after, we have used this raw text data, and we had our JD already with us. So we want to call OpenAI for scoring. Now we can see control will go above and we'll say, hey, do we have any row function, OpenAI function? Yes, we have. OpenAI function is here. What is the role of this OpenAI function? This is going to help you to provide the raw data, sorry, ATS score, right? But what input you need? We need to pass the argument as JD and resume. We understand on the runtime, we will get the JD, we will get the resume. Yes, we have. And now you can see. I hope this is also okay to all because we have already discussed about it. So we already got my client object by passing the endpoint and the key. And I asked you multiple times, like, what is there? So you said chat.completion. I added the create. And we said, what is the model name? Yes, we have the model name as GPT-4o. That's fine. We discussed about another argument as message, in which we want system message and user message. Okay, so you are a precise resume optimizer assistant and output valid JSON only, right? This is the only system message, means what should be your behavior. So you want to optimize the resume and output should be in the JSON. That's fine. Or then after input, in input, you are providing the job description, you're providing the resume text. So these two arguments you wanted to get, this JD text, job description, resume text on this place. So this input you want to pass, and you are telling like you need to optimize this resume by including this JD and resume and passing the maximum token, like it should not exceed 800 and temperature 0 to make it flexible. You can give the value from 0 between 0 and 1, right? So this is something once you will hit internally, it will be hitting this particular input, just like we do in ChatGPT or we do in Copilot. So we want to hit this input on this GPT-4o, and you will get the response here, right? So once you will get the response, you will extract out of it, and you will get the content. Ultimately, like if something is not happening, we'll be adding in the log information. If something is starting with this triple dot, that means you are not providing the good information, it will extract. We'll start with JSON, means some basic information is there, like how to handle those all stuff. So you're adding some extra of code. But important thing is happening here only, in which you are going to hit on this GPT-4o, this query, and it will give you the response. To extract this response, we know from the JSON output, you can extract the real content, whatever the content you want to extract. You can start playing with this JSON output, and you will get the content. So what is happening here? In this one, you will be expecting the output as this ATS score. So finally, it will be returning this score. If nothing is happening, in that case, it will say the 0, breakdown, max score, and the missing keyword. So this kind of output we have discussed earlier. Like by using OpenAI's GPT-4o, you will get the score breakdown. What are the different skills are there? Extra informations are there. What are the matching keywords? What are the missing keywords? This all information you will get in your result. But we also discussed one more thing here, one more function that was about, just a minute. So this is your OpenAI, but within this OpenAI, we are using one more extra thing here, that is calculate semantic similarity. So there we are going to call one more function from this function, like within the function. This will be helping you to calculate the semantic similarity. Right now we have both the things already, JD and the resume text. You want to get the semantic score, and this will help you to provide the semantic score as well. But how? We can just move back onto the calculate semantic similarity. There we have. And in this function, you will use OpenAI client once again. And this time we have two things are there. First of all, I can show you, like I'm just going to talk about the two things, like I'm talking about these two functions. One, I'm using GPT-4o for getting the ATS score, but we have this embedding model, which is helping us to convert my data into vector form. So for doing this thing, I just need to use client.embedding.create. Simple. In the previous one, we were saying client.chat.completion. This time embedding.create. This time very first you want to pass the JD, and you are considering it should not exceed 8,000 token, just to save the money or to save the time as well. So you are just restricting, and you will be getting this embedding model, embedding data for your embedding for this particular JD. Similarly, we have resume data. So I pass the two argument, one is JD and one is resume. So we want to find out the similarity between these two things, like how much similar are these two. Means if I have the Saurabh's resume, is this resembling, is this getting some of the similarity between the two? So if we have JD and the resume, I want to get the embedding for both the things. So I'm doing both the things same. Only input is in this time it is JD, in another one it was resume text. And to get my similarity, I'm using cosine similarity. And for cosine similarity, we have a simple method. By using numpy, we are going to calculate that simple method and getting the similarity, right? So this is something like you can use these 3-4 functions are there. We have discussed all of them. Finally, this output will be saved by uploading method. So once again, you will get the container reference by giving the container name. This time, to save this all data, we have container name is, what was the container name to save my data? So this container name was reports, this one. So that's why you want to save your all the information, whatever you have done, you want to save here in this container. And the name, we already aware about that. Saurabh Taneja, this underscore this JSON, report underscore dot JSON. So this will be the name. So just to do that, once again, just like we downloaded first by getting the container reference, again, you will get the container reference, and this time you will upload. So you will give the blob name. Blob name will be your file name, and you will have your address already. Container name is already there with us, and it will be saving. If it is already there, it will overwrite. So when you are going to call this one at end, so once all is done, finally you did save the text blob. We have already done that part at the end. And finally, it will just show you the response. And for performing this all, I showed you in the Windows laptop, but right now, once you will start implementing, you will find this kind of a front end where you need to upload your file and need to give the job description. And on hitting, you will be able to see the response like that. How much it is relevant. So it's saying 85%, 80 score. Will show you what are the breakdowns in that, whatever the important points are there, it will give you. Will show you the matching keywords and missing keywords, right? So that kind of an output that you can see once you will start implementing this project. But I can quickly show you what we have done today. So this is a complete project. I will come back to the questions, but you can see in this file is important, in which we have all the different credentials from your doc intelligence, from this blob container. We have embedding models, right? A GPT model, right? So right now, very first, you need to get your client object and need to come back into this main function first. Okay, there we have the main function. In the main function, we got input as JD and location, right? This was the one. What's that? So 3 hours is just like 2020. I need to run. And there we have, this is my only input. I need to pass my JD and job description. Okay. So as you will pass this JD and this, we will have request in that object. Out of that, we will extract both the things separate, JD separate and resume blob separate. From resume blob, we will extract once again container and blob. Container is row resume underscore row, and the blob name is saurabhtaneja.pdf, right? We have these two things we will extract. Why we have extracted these two things? Just to pass this one in this function. Function number 1. This will convert this old data into raw text. That means we wanted to get the resume into raw text data. What you have in resume, like Saurabh Taneja's resumes are there. I want to get the absolutely raw data. I don't want in the PDF form because it will not be processed. So I want to get that raw data. I have JD, both the things are there. Now I will pass both the things directly into this function, which is OpenAI function. And this OpenAI function will help us to extract the ATS code. Once I will get the ATS code, internally, I am also using another function to get semantic similarity. I will get all the information. Once I will get all the information, I will call this function. What is this? Sir, I have all the information. What I wanted to get? I wanted to get ATS score. I wanted to get matching, missing, and similarity, semantic similarity, the keywords I wanted to get, right? I got everything. So can you please create a report for me? So in that case, I will give the name. Don't take whole name, only take the Saurabh Taneja. Underscore what? Underscore report.json. So this will be the name of the file. And please upload that file in my container. And the container is reports. So it will upload. Finally, it will also show you the output like that, where my response will be showing in that particular way, like where you want to show, means like in front end, as well as you can also check this one in this Azure function as this app function as well. So in the app function, we have seen, if you want to implement directly by this, so you can do it by this way, where you will have this function on your overview page. You can go here. You can implement that one manually here, code plus test, right? You can just click on this test run and it will start executing your code immediately right now manually, right? You just need to pass your input data, like what is your resume file, what is your JD, both the information you can pass. This is the one way. Another way, as we discussed, like you can come here, you can upload in this front end, you can make your HTTP and you can get the response like that, right? So these two things are there. With that, I'm done for this particular project. So now if you have any query, any questions, please ask. I know like this is much, but I wanted to bring all of you on the same level. That's why in the beginning, I took all the things from the scratch. So what we have done, we discussed very first problem statement. What is the problem statement? Like talking about the importance, like why are we talking about it? So you can also explain about this project. What was the problem? We were expecting this output. And in the solution, we discussed like here, we want to generate ATS score. We want to find out this matched and missing skill that we have done right now. And for implementation, we have seen this high level view, like we are comparing this all with this particular online flow, like we uploaded the blob PDF in this. Then after, as you will trigger, it will first call doc intelligence, which is helping us to give the raw text, OpenAI to get ATS. Finally, we will get all the response and will save back into storage account, right? This all we have discussed here. After that, this is the complete structure. I hope this will be helping you to understand. And with that, we discussed each and every small concept before diving into the code or into the portal first. First, we understood what is doc intelligence. Once again, recalling the things, how we can implement this kind of a code, probably like will help you to understand first, like why are we using this code in the bigger area. So that's why I showed you in the smaller form first. Then after we discussed storage account, again, we discussed about download blob and the upload blob. We also discussed Azure function and how you use that. So you need to mention like whenever you want to trigger. So you can just give any example here, like that. This is a small example in which we have discussed about it, how you can start using the similar kind of code we have used in the main project. Finally, we discussed Azure OpenAI. Once again, a quick overview. What is OpenAI? We have discussed. Again, going to call you the two important methods, GPT and HTTP, text embedding, and how to implement this one. Right. So with that, we have done this all complete project. Now, if you have any queries, please ask. Yes.
And that's a wrap for today's video. You now know how to build and deploy an AI-powered ATS resume scoring agent using Azure. From setting up Azure Function App and integrating Azure OpenAI to processing resumes and job descriptions and generating ATS scores, you have got all the key steps to implement this solution. So if you're preparing for AI or machine learning roles, this is an incredibly valuable skill to have. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And also, if you want to continue growing your AI/ML skills, be sure to sign up for our free masterclass on AI/ML and agentic AI. It's packed with practical tips to help you land your next big job. And if you have got any questions, drop them in the comments below. We would love to hear them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.